There are 1001 questions for this student loan. At first, let us applaud President Tinubu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, viewers, depending on the area of the world where you are watching from. We are looking into student loan signed into law by President Tinubu, what most people called the TINUBU'S loan. The effectivity of this loan, whether or not it is going to work, how the implementation will cover everyone, who will benefit from this loan and who will not, whether or not it is important to sign the loan into law, applicability of it, who will qualify for the loan, is the loan indeed for everyone? There are 1001 questions for this student loan. At first, let us applaud President Tinubu. It is not easy to come up with such idea. Student loan to work in Nigeria, this will be a great deal. At least now we can boast we have student loan in Nigeria. When the Westerners talk about their loan, when they talk about bringing Africans into the Western countries, like USA, Canada, Germany, Norway, and other countries who are helping in increasing brain drain in Africa, because they target the intelligent ones, the brilliant ones. They target them with loans, grants, other subsidy to support their travel abroad and their studies. They target the Africans who have got it here. So I think Nigeria is on the wake, which many people said that Mr. Tinubu is doing what he's doing now. Everything is fake. Nothing is real. And the time will tell. This is what many people said about Tinubu. They call this TINUBU'S loan, which definitely he is going to get back somehow through FG, federal government. Because a time shall come when he will say, listen, I have established a student loan, and they expected those students that benefited to pay back, and the payment is not coming. So the federal government has to pay. Many people before now have said that the idea of student loan is one dramatical, intelligent, critical, well thoughtful to take back what he has spent during his campaign. And whatever he's spending now, somehow that President Tinubu is a master of events. Some public people defined President Tinubu as master planner of events, of how to get it back, whatever he spent. Nothing comes out of his administration that he is not going to recover. They said he is known for this, professional in this, you can't teach him this. Despite his age, he is good at games like this. So, boycotting all other ways, every government have stolen money from the Nigerian economic purse. He has designed a student loan, and definitely that will pay him back whatever he spent from the time he began his campaign up to the time he finished his tenure. Because Nigerians are not going to turn up well due to unemployment, which many people pointed out, because where student loan work, for instance, in Western countries, it works pretty well there due to the employability vacant there, the volume of employment. People sure that after their studies, they will find a job in one company or the other there. But when you look at the situation of Nigeria today, employment is important. When people are unemployed, how can they pay back what you gave out to them as loan? Most people have suggested that it is better he comes up with grants, because grant is quite different from loan. The definition is obvious. Loan is that money collected to pay back with an interest. And the grant is that money you gave out to support, to assist, which necessarily does not require someone to pay back. It can be in form of scholarship, 100% scholarship for people who haven't got the money, but they are intelligent to go to school and they want to go to school. Education is very important. Education is essential. And we must essentialize education in Nigeria. And this is what almost the three candidates during their campaign mentioned. Okay, the master of it all was Peter Obi. In that time, he said education remained the very first thing. He capitalized on education. He held on to education so much, and he spoke about the importance of education and how that will contribute to economic growth of every country, how that will contribute to employability in every country. So, right now, even as the case is still in the court, Mr. Tinubu, who is today's Nigerian president, is doing all his best to cover up everything said in the agendas. Should I say his agenda or copied agenda from Mr. Obi? I cannot say what I am not sure about. But what Mr. Tinubu today is doing, he is making sure that the things he said during his campaign, that he get them running now, especially considering their case at the court, which the outcome is not yet there to know who will continue as the president of Nigeria. However, the public must talk. The Nigerians never last in everything. They will always talk. Now, people come up on social media and begin to comment since Mr. Tinubu made the disclosure of signing student loan into law. Some people have asked, how is that going to work? Is this not another way to defraud the Nigerians? Is this not another way for his administration to get back what they believe they are spending now, if they have spent anything at all? Because any money spent from his administration remains Nigerian money. This is what most people said. I am not sure about this because I am not the one who made the money for Tinubu or for any of the politicians who campaigned. However, the public opinion, the citizens matters. Their voice matters. We must listen to their voice. Their voice must be heard. And whoever is leading Nigeria as a president, whether you are leading or ruling, you must pay attention to the public voices. The masses' voice matters a lot in what you are doing, because being the president of a country, you are the #1 citizen, and they are looking onto you, and you are now important for them, and you have to give them account of whatever you are doing in your day-to-day life. It's important for citizens where you are the president. Let me now take you to Nigeria's Access to Higher Education Act 2023 from President Tinubu's administration. So here are the guidelines. Replaces Nigerian Education Bank Act 1993. Provides interest-free loans applicable for public universities, eligible only for the tuition fees. Establishes Nigerian Education Loan Fund. So only applicable for the public universities. People who go to private universities cannot have access to this loan, because private universities means that these people, they have the money and they can pay whatever the private institution is asking. So we understood that this loan is to help people who are poor, who have no money to go to school. Some people who drop out because of one reason or the other, maybe coming from the side of their parents, losing their jobs where they are working, or lose their property due to one fire outbreak or the other, not being able to pay people they are doing business with, and they collected what belonged to them, and they have no option, and they lack the money to continue in their businesses. So in one way or the other, hindered their children from going to school. So I think this loan will help people who fall in these categories. And he said this loan is only for tuition fees, so it doesn't cover other things. It doesn't cover other areas. This is where the difficulty is. If it is only for tuition fees, it doesn't cover other areas. There are people who haven't money for anything at all. The student loan should cover everything concerning the student the student at the university. It should cover everything. It should cover everything. This is how it will be that strong and authentic, because it is more like giving a little bread from a whole loaf of bread, and a piece of bread you give to a bird, you cannot feed it to a human being, because it's not going to be enough for a human being. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be there in the stomach, and it is more like you are not doing anything rather. However, we have to appreciate the administration as they come up with this little piece of bread they wish to serve the public. And some people said they just said this to put smile on the Nigerian faces, understanding too well that Nigerians are wise now and are not ready to take any shit from anyone who has come to rule or lead the country Nigeria. Here are other comments people made on social media. This is another way to siphon the nation's treasury. Will the loan be given to sons and the daughters of the common man? We already know you guys. This person said, student loans won't work in Nigeria. Pay lecturers very well and on time too. Give every student bursary allowance yearly. If I secure a student loan and graduate due to unemployment, I decided to japa. Who will pay the loan? To Yeye government. When they all have their ways of ripping off the economy. Ole, ole, ole. And this other person commented as, introduce bursary and they compel state government to reduce the cost of tertiary institution. If more jobs are being created and these young university graduates get jobs, this will even make the government generate more taxes. Old brains always think backward. This person said, okay, I just hope this isn't all noise to give an impression that this administration is working, because just signing a bill means nothing. How and when will this be implemented? Also, which jobs are they going into? Anyway, we are watching. I love this particular comment. This person here wrote, and I quote, why not do what ASU asks? Fund educational system, higher institution, reduce fees and create more jobs. All I see here is giving Nigerians what they want to hear, which these people, the government, know is not the situation to the problem on the ground. So the person, in other words, said that the TINUBU'S administration have to pay attention to the request of ASU. Because when they pay attention to the request of ASU, that is where it is even better. It is more better, because ASU, we have a way to make sure that there will be no strike. And when a student enrolls to his course for 4 years, he will do that 4 years. Because paying attention to ASU means paying sufficient amount to the lecturers, which will stop them from going on strike, and attending to them more. I think it makes sense than the loan. I'm not saying that student loan is not good. It is good. But the grant to pay back is a question here, because most people, when they finish their studies, before they go to NYSC to serve, it takes 2 years. Whereas this loan need to be paid 2 years after you finish your studies. That is when it is activated. So you begin to pay from that time. If you are unemployed, how are you going to pay? So when you look at people's comments, you can see where people are hitting it. Nigeria is not a Western country where everything goes how they are planned. People finish their studies, somehow they can get job, even if it means cleaning the road or find jobs in hotels, doing what they didn't study. But important thing is the chances of working are high. What about Nigeria? The chances of finding a job immediately after you graduated, are these chances there? This is the question we must ask. So the factors people have suggested that will hinder this from working out is limited employment in Nigeria, unemployment as 2, unorganized system as 3. Because for this to work, the student loan thing to work well, the system must be organized. It must be organized in a way that whoever receives the loan have to pay the loan. But I don't think that will happen in Nigeria, because the number one thing Nigerians need now is job. Create job. Unemployed people, people who have finished their studies and are still unemployed, they want to go and work. When there is job in Nigeria, when people begin to work, other things can work. This is the idea behind all these things. Create enough job for the citizens. This is the idea. This is how you get Nigeria working. And let me know what you think about what I have shared with you. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Be quick to subscribe on the bottom right corner of this video if you haven't subscribed to Kibri's Got Talent, and then turn on the bell notification so that whenever we upload a new video, it will come to you before others. See you.